Everyone welcome to our April Council meeting on the 16th of the 4th. In accordance with the Weddin Shire Council's Code of Meeting Practices, this meeting will be recorded for the purposes of audio-visual live streaming via Council's website and YouTube channel. Those in attendance are asked to refrain from making any defamatory statements and comply with all relevant Weddin Shire Council codes, policies and procedures at all times. Weddin Shire Council would like to acknowledge the Wiradjuri people who are the traditional custodians of the land. Weddin Shire Council would also like to pay our respects to both elders past and present of the Wiradjuri Nation and extend that respect to other Aboriginal Australians who are present. Weddin Shire Council would like to honour our service personnel who have sacrificed their lives in the defence of our freedom, our peace and our prosperity. We acknowledge all of our frontline workers, our volunteers who every day provide our essential and our non-essential services, especially those within our Weddin Shire Council local government area. Thank you. Councillors, next we move on to attendances and applications of leave. We've got everyone here. We do have two apologies. We have apologies that from Councillor Chad White be accepted as a leave of absence due to a recent death of his family members. Do I have a move and a second to councillors? Yes, moved by Councillor Rolls, seconded by Councillor Neal. All those in favour of accepting that apology, councillors? Aye. Thank you. Next we have an apology received from Councillor Montgomery to be accepted as a leave of absence due to ill health. Have a move and a second to councillors? Yep, Councillor Neal, Councillor Gorman, thank you very much. Not too fast? No. All those in favour of that recommendation, we accept it? Aye. Thank you, councillors. Next we have leave of absence, so we've dealt with them. Next we move on to the confirmations of the minutes of the ordinary meeting held on the 19th of March 2026. Have a move and a seconder? Councillor Gorman, thank you, and seconded by Councillor Macon. Any issues with those minutes, councillors? No? In that case, we'll take those ordinary minutes then taken as read and confirmed. All those in favour of the recommendation? Aye. Thank you, councillors. All those against? None. I now ask the General Manager to speak on the declarations of interest for tonight's meeting.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. We have one declaration of conflict of interest, and that's Councillor Macon in regards to item 15.1. Description of interest is Club President of Grenfell Country Club, non-pecuniary significant interest, and Councillor Macon will be leaving the room.
Good, thank you very much. Next we move on to mayoral minutes or reports. I have no mayoral reports at this moment of this one. We move on to section 8 of the business paper, which is motions and questions with notice. We have one motion here that Councillor Macon has put in forward, that Council 1 investigates options for the installation of shade structures over the main playground equipment at Liddy's Place in Grenfell, particularly the primary play structures and metal slide. 2, prepare an indicative cost estimate and identify potential funding opportunities, including grants and council budget allocations. And 3, provides a report back to council as soon as practical with the aim of installing appropriate shade prior to the 2026-2027 summer period. Very good. I'll ask Councillor Macon. We need a seconder for that one. Obviously, it's moved by Councillor Macon and seconded by, yes, Councillor Parlett. Thank you very much. I'll ask Councillor Macon if you'd like to speak on his notice of motion.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. So, since the opening of Liddy's Place Table Park, it has been well utilised by the community, by my family especially. I love taking our little girl up there and playing up there. My main concerns that have been raised by community members is mainly the metal slide. When it becomes high temperatures, 35 degree, 40 degree days in summer period, that slide does get quite hot. Someone has donated some Hessian bags for that slide, but my daughter has slid down there and she has almost burnt herself, not burnt herself, but she tells me that it's hot, and it is hot. So main concern is safety of the users of the park, preempting any major injury that happens from a safety standpoint. I see in the paper there that there has been some preliminary work being done from council, which I knew that was it was also a part of the initial grant application, I assume. The cost estimate for the shade sale is much more expensive than what I initially thought it would be. but mainly just to improve to the longevity of the park. Obviously, it's going to take a long time for those trees to become shady trees in the future. Mainly just to ensure that the park is well utilised, especially even in the summer months where it does get quite hot. That's about it.
Thank you, Councillor Macon. Any other questions, councillors, regarding this one?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Councillor Neal.
When I first read this, the only thing I was worried about was the contribution that we are going to be making roughly towards this, about the 37,000. When our council's not doing real great financially, that was my greatest concern. While I'm right behind you in it, the money to be spent on it is just my concern.
Agreed. Councillor?
I would like to reinforce what Councillor Neal said, particularly when I can't get $5,000 for an extra seat outside IGA. So I want everybody to know I'm still trying very hard and we're working on the budget.
We are. Councillor Parlett?
I just think seeing that we have invested so much into this playground, then we have extremely hot summers. So I feel that safety issue, especially as it is for children with disabilities, we need to be mindful that we are providing a safe environment for all children. You often have the child that will just run off from mum or dad and go down, because usually parents do test and check, but you've always got that one child that will just hop on and go. So I just would hate to see someone burnt, and then that's going to cost us a lot more than 37,000, I would think.
Yes. I've always thought that when I remember asking the staff why we actually implemented a stainless steel sort of slide, but it was due to the impact of the cochlear implants, if I'm correct. And I think it has plastic slides and things have static electricity, which creates any child with cochlear implants, and that was the reason. In order for it to be as an inclusive playground, we had to actually go for that particular design. I think that's one of the things. I probably have a question in that. It says, and I think I'm not sure who would field this question, but it says, should the project proceed community engagement we undertake to support the proposal? Is that just purely to support the grant application, which I thought you can take it on notice? I'm sorry, I wasn't sure.
I'd just say, through you, Mr. Mayor, part of that we probably would take on notice, but in short, moving forward, we would want to have some community consultation to make sure that what we are putting in,
right, okay,
given that we were committing ourselves to spending a portion of money, that we would make sure we are putting in there something that's reflective of what the community wants and needs.
Yeah.
So that's particularly what that's about.
Yeah, so it's not exactly about seeing whether the level of support from the community for the actual shade sale. It's about in the design procedures and design. Yeah,
that's
right. Thank you. And I suppose it comes back to the general manager. Obviously, that doesn't actually have where the budget from it in that would come from. If we were to spend that, it'd be just included in the next financial budget.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I think it's a bit ambiguous as to whether in that motion, whether if the grant is unsuccessful, are we still funding those works? Yeah. So that's what staff need clarity on.
Yeah.
So are we putting it into the draft 26-27 budget regardless of whether a grant is received or not? Because that's
Through you, Mr. Mayor, my motion is to plainly look into it, not to act like next week, put it in.
Yeah.
But obviously, I would assume, and I don't know if one of the directors can answer, if the shade sales were applied for in the initial grants, or was it retrospectively now we're going for because we didn't?
I can probably talk to that. It wasn't included in it. I mean, we were trying to get the best value for money we possibly could out of the money, and I think they were trying to do it within that budget.
Yeah.
And we would have. I'm sure the staff would have loved to have got a shade sale out of that the first grants that we got, but the cost to do the whole works just was greater than what everyone expected, I think, and I think the staff did a good job of getting what we got. for the money. So now it's, they said, now it's the process of looking for grants to do the shade sale and do the additional
Especially
work to.
if just shade sales by themselves are 185
Exactly.
grand.
Yeah.
It's not a
Yeah.
cheap venture.
So I suppose that's, so I think Councillor Makin's clearly that it's said he's not, the intention of the motion is not the council puts it directly in the budget, but council does,
Look into it.
yeah, looks
That's
into
right.
it, which we,
Hence, point number one, investigate options
yeah,
and report back. That's
yeah. So what's the best thing to work with this? We can just, do you think there's still some ambiguity with it or ambiguity? Sorry, Councillor Barlow?
You could
Councillor
put in
Dorman.
to defer a decision in maybe 3 months' time after seeking relevant grants. In other words, look for the grants and then make a decision.
I think we have to
I think that's what we're doing anyway. Yeah,
endorse this to then be seeking grants.
correct.
yeah.
So, and I think there's a new communities grant just out, I just saw today.
That's what they're going for.
But there's
Yeah.
a different one to this, it's a connecting
Okay.
communities or
Yeah, okay.
something. Anyway, check on that one.
So we might need a fourth.
Well, through you, Mr.
Councillor
Mayor,
Makin.
if the motion's carried by vote, all of those initial next steps would be done part of point 2 by preparing indicative cost estimate
Yeah, so-
for funding.
Yeah,
So-
so it mean another report back to the next council meeting, basically.
Yeah, and that's what point number 3 is.
Yeah.
Provide a report back to council as soon as practical, where practical might be 3 months' time, 6 months' time.
Yeah. And by supporting this, we're basically supporting the actions for the staff to go for.
Correct. Yeah,
go for
correct.
it.
It's all it is to investigate
Yeah.
options.
Yeah, thank you. You agree, General Manager? That's pretty.
Correct, and yeah, we'll need to do, if we are successful obviously for the grant, we'll have to do a budget variation for the council contribution component.
So there's nothing in here that says we actually have to spend the money. It's just to do the investigation. But if we get the grant, you bring that report back to council.
Correct.
Correct.
Everyone clear with that one? We're just trying to clear up a few things, make sure we get it right. Thank you very much. So in that case then, if there's no more comments on this, councillors, I'll put this motion to the vote. The 3 points there as written. All those in favour, councillors? Thank you. All those against?
Yes.
Councillor Niddon, against? Thank you. Next we move on to 9, the General Manager report. There is a recommendation here that councillors and designated person review their personal circumstances and determine if they are required to lodge a written return of interest within 3 months of the 30th of June 2026. And 2, key management personnel review their personal circumstances and determine if they are required to lodge a related party transaction notification within 30 days after the 30th of June 2026. We have a mover and a second, councillors. Moved by Councillor Makin, seconded by Councillor Rolls. Thank you very much. I'll ask the General Manager if he wishes to speak on this or he wants to take it as read.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Mayor. No, this is a legislative requirement that these returns of interest are completed every year, and the related party transactions are a requirement under the accounting standards for the financial statements. The only thing that I'll add to the report is that there will be a subsequent report tabling the returns of interest of councillors to the October 2026 meeting, as is required under the Code of Conduct, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a gentle reminder.
Yes.
Councillor Makin?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Point number 1, councillors and designated persons review, and if they are required to, are we required to, or if nothing's changed, we don't require to?
Still do.
Still do.
Still
So
do.
that says if we're required,
Yeah.
so it should say
Are
required.
Correct. Yeah.
Because that sounds like, oh no.
Like a reminder.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. It should say if are we required? We're definitely required.
Is that the same for point 2 as well?
Yes. Yes. Because even if they have no...
Sorry.
No, you're correct. If they have no related party transactions, they should still be
Yeah.
disclosing.
A nil disclosure.
Yeah. Because the auditors will expect to see a nil
Yeah.
disclosure.
Thank you. Because I read it before, I'm like, I'm sure we still have to do it.
Yeah, no, that's correct.
Very good. Did you want to make that change in it now? Or is that too difficult? I'll ask the move in the second. Are you happy with that change? That we change it from if to end?
Yep.
You may as well do it and get it done. Just to put the pressure on the executive system. You just put end are required. Yeah. 2. Yeah. Good, may as well.
Sorry.
That's right, no, we may as well tidy it up and get it right. That's we're voting on a motion, so it may as well be correct. Very good, thank you. Any other comments on those ones, councillors? No? All those in favour of that recommendation, please raise your hand. All those against, thank you, councillors. Straightforward. Let's move on to... If you open, it's quicker if you open without the attachments, but sometimes you need them. Next we move on to 9.2, response to notices of motion. Quarterly meet your councillors community forum. There's a recommendation here that council approves the establishment of an annual meet your councillor community forums with clear agendas and boundaries that include feedback loops are undertaken between sowing and harvest seasons for Brentford, Pondiala, Bimby, Crackleby and Greenthorpe during business hours to minimise council's cost and safety impacts. And 2, semi-annual councillor drop-in sessions to be held at Grenfell during sowing and harvest seasons. That's the recommendation there. Or I have a move and a seconder. Councillor Macon and Councillor Neal, thank you very much. I'll ask as it's a... This is due to Councillor Macon's notice of motion, so I'll ask that the General Manager was to speak on this one, or I can ask Councillor Macon to speak.
Happy for Councillor Macon.
Councillor Macon, yeah.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Mayor. I brought this in the June 2025 meeting purely just to have a bit more community engagement with all the surrounding villages in the Grenfell Township as well, as a few community members wanted that more face-to-face interaction. Understandably, everyone's busy, every staff, councillors, everyone in between is busy. As I said in the June 2025 meeting, the frequency and how we did it was open to negotiation and working out to see what best fits for everyone within the community, councillors, staff, everyone involved. From reading the recommendation from council is that the annual councillor meetings, community forums should say, are to be held during business hours. That's my only concern. I love the other recommendation. Business hours, it just might inhibit people who are working, might decrease participation. But all in all, purely happy to see it going forward in some sort of manner to make sure we have that strong touch points within our community. Thank you.
Megan? Yep. Councillor Gorman?
Personally, I think quarterly is probably too much. That's four events a year. I would like to see the proposal changed to 2, whereby we go out on the bus and visit the communities.
So you're recommending an amendment to the motion that it's instead of...
If that's agreeable with everybody, mainly because we don't...
Before you speak on your amendment, then we'll see if anyone... Do we have a seconder for the amendment?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Councillor Niven, yep, seconded by Councillor Niven. Yeah, Councillor Gorman, go ahead and speak on your amendment.
Sometimes we get a good roll-up of people. Again, the timing is can be an issue for some of them, particularly if it's a bad farm season. However, usually somebody if they're concerned about something, they'll send somebody else, or they'll get a neighbour or a family member to go and speak on their behalf, which is wonderful. I just think twice a year should be enough, plus the fact that we're out there occasionally for things like Australia Day, maybe Anzac, different events during the year, and they can always ring one of us and present an issue, and then we can follow it through.
I think the only thing I can see with the councillor is if we go to 2, we've got Grenfell, Quandiala, Bimby, Crackable and Greenthorpe, so we've got 5. If we're only limiting him to 2, we're going to have to rotate between years of when we go out. Is that?
What do you? I know I'm talking. We go out twice in the year in the 12 months, and we do the rotation of all of them.
Oh, okay. So you're saying instead of annually, once a year to each one, you want to go twice a year to each. That'll be 10.
Well,
10
I
events.
thought Councillor Macon was advocating for quarterly, as in we go 4 times.
Yeah.
And so I just think, I don't think we should cut it too much, because I think it's essential and important for communication. But I just think going out twice, and the other thing I would change is when we went last time, we had allocated 1 hour at each place. That was nowhere near enough. Probably even 2 hours, if possible.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I was just going off the actual recommendation, that was all, because I think the recommendation is annually meet your council community forums are undertaken between sowing and harvest seasons for Grenfell, Quandiala, Bimby, Crackle and Greenthorpe during business hours to minimise, so it doesn't actually, in the recommendation, state how many times a year.
Yes, it does.
Does it?
Well, annually means once.
Yeah, annual means once. That's what I'm saying. So now you're saying there's more. It's quarterly. Sorry, Councillor Macon.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. So my understanding of the recommendation is annually could be in July after the financial year. So that's 5 spots during that week, and then the semi-annual ones would be at the start of the year, in between those busy periods. So essentially, you're meeting 5 times once, and then 10 times with the villages and everything. So if we go twice, that's going to be even more than annually and semi-annual.
That's, yeah.
Not if you do it on the one day, in the one trip, which is what has been happening in the past.
So if you're going through the mayor,
or you could do it over 2 days.
If you're going to all the villages and you want 2 hours at each, that's a really big day. So my understanding of the annual one would be for 1 week out of the year, you go one day for as long as you want at one place, the next day as long as you want at one place. So you're giving them the option to sit for 3 hours if they want, instead of cutting them off. That's why I was really happy with the recommendation. Instead of, I appreciate quarterly is a lot. Annually fits in, because I think if you went any more than that, you're going to lose the nicheness of it, where they go, well, we just had one, why are we going to go again? So having it once a year for all the villages for a day, or however the layout is, and then semi-annually when sowing and harvest seasons are not on, they can drop in when they want. I hope that makes sense.
Yep. I might just ask the General Manager to speak on it, if that's okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The only point I want to clarify on that is recommendation part 2, semi-annual, is more of an informal engagement process, as opposed to recommendation part 1, which is a formal structured process to do with the community strategic plan, the delivery program and the operational plan.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Thank you.
I suppose I'm just trying to, because Councillor Gorman's moved an amendment that it's biannually, so I'm trying to get the exact numbers out so we can make sure we're all voting on the same thing. As how many engagements will you be talking about in yours, Councillor Gorman?
Well, my thinking was, in the past we've gone out and we've done it in one day, and sometimes you need to be there a little bit longer than an hour, maybe an hour and a half, it'd be probably showing more respect for, the citizens who may want to come and see us, rather than us say, oh, we've got to go because we've got to be at such and such. But, I mean, that could even be done over 2 days. But I don't know, I just think 2 opportunities for them to speak to us and we make the effort to go to them is a positive. However, we could do it over 2 days. The only other thing is, depends on if the directors and some staff come with us as well. That takes them away from their other duties and how much time they've got to do their job anyway. So I'm just making my opinion, that's all.
That's
Sorry.
right. That's okay. Well, that's what we're here to do. But so twice a year, you'd be saying two, as we used to do, council roadshows twice a year, and see all the villages in those two twice a year times. So we'd go and visit each one of the Quandy, Bimby, Crackable, Greenthorpe, Grenfell twice a year.
That's what I would prefer. Whether we do it over 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, whatever, I don't think that matters. But
the original motion is we would do them once a year.
I thought it was 4 times.
Yeah, that's
I thought that
that's
was
what I thought
the
it said
original.
too.
So, why is it once and 4 times?
Yeah, I'm just going on.
I'm lost. I've lost.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's what I'm trying to bring it back, Councillor Niven. That's what I'm trying to understand. I would say annually was once a year for all 5 villages, and then you've got the semi-annually ones, which is twice a year, the drop-in sessions. So that would be 5.
They've got 3 opportunities essentially.
3 opportunities.
So through you, Mr. Mayor, Deputy Mayor's amendment is saying 2 plus the semi-annual ones. So then that's 4.
Yeah. So yeah.
For you, Mr. Mayor, if I could just speak on it, I think Deputy Mayor Gorman's amendment was on the belief that the original motion was for 4 meetings. So Deputy Mayor was actually trying to bring it down to a lower. Yeah, so it may actually be redundant now if we're clarified that it's 1 meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the semi-annual, I thought that was basically an option, which are we going for one or the other? But then that's at Grenfell and they have to travel into us.
Yeah.
But they are informal.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
Let's not make it too confusing, but
yeah.
So Councillor Neil, yes.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to see it done annually.
Yep.
But I'd also like to see it done on the weekend, something, because the workers, like even the councillors at work, won't be able to attend, and the people that have jobs like normal 9 to 5 type jobs during Monday to Friday won't be able to attend it either. So I don't know if we can get that into it somehow. And I know it puts people out, council workers and that out on the weekend as well.
Yeah.
I don't know how we can bring that into it.
Yeah. I know you agree with what you're saying. I do find it difficult with the staff. I've been to everyone I think we've had, and I find that the staff is very important to be there. It's really important because a lot of the questions you get asked are operational, not to do with council policies and the work of the councillors. It's really to do with the operational, the potholes, and not having the staff there. I think doesn't help, and then we'd be fielding questions on things which perhaps council shouldn't be dealing with. It should be dealt in an operational manner. So, expecting. That's why we actually waited for the General Manager's report on this, to see how General Manager could liaise with the staff on that, and I think this is what he's come up with the best solution, the best recommendation, I think, that we can do it. So,
thank you.
So did you want any more questions on the amendment? Because we might, I think it's obvious that probably the amendment, the original motion, I think would probably be a better one. If you talk about reducing it, the original motion is actually smaller, so it's less times. So I'll put the amendment to the vote. All those in favour of the amendment? Thank you, all those against? Thank you, councillors. Yeah, very good. So the amendment's now lost. We now go back to the original motion, which we annually meet the councillors' community forums with clear agendas and boundaries that include feedback loops are undertaken between sowing and harvest seasons for Grenfell, Pondiella, Bimby, Crackable and Greenthorpe during business hours to minimise council's costs and safety aspects. And 2, the semi-annual councillor drop-in sessions at the Grenfell during sowing and harvest. Any questions on the original motion, councillors? I think we've had a good discussion. Councillor Rolls?
For you, Mr. I probably would just... Councillor Macon mentioned that we would do a day at each and that would consist of a week. I don't think that's practically possible. I suppose I would just like some clarity before we vote on whether we were looking to do the village meets over 2 days perhaps, as opposed to 1 hour and rush everybody. I'd just like some clarity before I vote.
Did you have a... It's up to council. Obviously, it's up to council. So that's what we need to do. We can make that decision here today. I think, if you'd like to do the same thing, you can move an amendment to the motion. But that's, I would say, agree that, like I said, there's probably not a full day in a lot of ones, and to take the whole staff out of the office here for, as you said, as a week would be pretty big impact on the amount of work the council, the staff could do. So yes, we could probably do them over 2 days, as in a morning and an afternoon session, and do it that particular way. Or if we don't have a lot of interest, we could move through and try and do them on the same forum as we did the other drop-in sessions. And if then revisit it, if we're getting more and more interest in it, we can then revisit and extend the times.
Do you need that as an amendment?
I think so. So, Councillor Rose, do you wish to put an amendment to it then?
Yeah, I will, if we could.
Yes, here to do.
If we could make an amendment that...
we could put an extra, instead of an amendment, you could put a third point.
Or probably better as a third point, maybe.
Yeah.
That we conduct the sessions over a 2 day period at this stage, so that we aren't rushing our village constituents.
Yeah.
But also it's still practical in the amount of time invested. Mm-hmm. And it may not be that they've done in the same week as each other. They could be separated, but...
Yeah. Yes, Councillor Macon? We need a seconder for your amendment, that's all. Councillor Gorman, seconded by Councillor Gorman, thank you. Councillor Macon, you were speaking?
Through you, Mr Mayor, just a general question. Could we put point 3 as times and dates to be later confirmed under consultation with other councillors and staff? Because if we commit to over 2 days, then we go, actually, we only need X, but we've already committed to 2.
Mm-hmm.
Just a question. I don't want to confuse it anymore.
It's another amendment. That's up to the actual mover of the motion and the seconder, whether they'd like to change their amendment.
Well, through you, Mr Mayor, I can change my amendment to include Councillor Macon's recommendation that conducted over 2 days where necessary, but subject to further consultation. If that satisfies.
You were seconded? Yeah.
Yeah.
And may I make a suggestion that we probably, because this is a fairly change to what we've been doing, that we actually do this for a 12-month period and then do have a report back at the end of 12 months. Otherwise, we're locking us in for forever, where if we do it for 12 months pro, we can actually look back at it and staff can look back at it and see the benefits of it and see where it's worked and if it hasn't worked and then review it then. So would you like to put an amendment in there that just says with a report
I'll add that too.
As a trial?
As a trial for a 12-month period with a report due back.
I mean, then we can look at it in 12 months' time. We can look at where it's really worked, or if it hasn't worked, and we need to look at other avenues of engagement. We've got moved in the seconder.
Yep.
Anyone wish to speak on those amendments, or against them, or for them? No one wish to speak on those amendments. In that case, I'll put the whole to the vote. No, actually, I've got to put the amendments to the vote for a start. So, 3 and 4 of the amendment. All those in favour of the amendments, councillors, please raise your hand. Thank you. All those against? The amendments now become the motion. So now we put the first motion. If anyone wishes to speak on the whole motion as a whole? No? In that case, I shall put the motion, those 4 points of the motion to the vote. All those in favour that we accept those recommendations? Aye. Thank you, councillors. All those against? Thank you very much. We got there, Councillor.
Mr Mayor, I think the amendment was seconded by Councillor Gorman.
Gorman, yes, sorry. Thank you, Councillor Niven.
We got there.
We go around about it, but we get there in the end. But that's what we're here to do, to work it out. Next we move on to... it catches up. Next we move on to 9.3, the review of the policy for our street stalls. The recommendations here that Council approve the updated draft street stall policy 1205 being placed on public exhibition for a period of 28 days, inviting submissions from staff and the public. Request the General Manager presents a further report to Council with all submissions received at the conclusion of the public exhibition period for Council's further consideration and adoption of the policy, and or if no submissions are received during the exhibition period, Council formally adopts a policy without any changes as a policy. I've moved in a second, councillors. Moved by Councillor Neal, seconded by Councillor, Macon. I think this is pretty straightforward. I don't know I need anyone to speak on it. If there's any questions regarding the policies, councillors. Yes, Councillor Gorman.
Having been on a few local organisations, there are special dates that are really significant for various fundraising efforts. Are we... when it opens in November, which is what the policy said, is there a bit of leeway? What's going to happen if 2 or 3, someone might come in, and how many are they allowed to book at a time? For example, is there a limit? Because someone could come in and say, I want one the first Friday of every month. I mean, are we limiting it at all?
I think they have ability to come back during the year, and it's not just on that time. They can actually go through. So and I think this is a very similar policy. We have been using this policy for quite a while. I think there's not much of a change to it. I don't know whether the General Manager would like to speak to it or direct it to a staff member to answer that question.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think it's first in, best dressed approach. The main changes to the policy is that it was last reviewed in 2017, so it's been a while. There's an increase in the requirements for public liability insurance to 20 million, and also having council noted as an interested party on the certificate of currency. And you'll see that the non-compliance section has changed significantly. It talks about, sales of food and chocolate wheel and all that sort of stuff. So it's tightening up the regulatory side of having those stalls held there. But yeah, my understanding is it's first in, best dress approach.
So
basically.
someone could come in and say, I would like to book the first Friday of every month.
Correct.
Councillor Niven?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I think there should be some precedence given to offering people who or functions like the Henry Lawson Festival have raffles from the previous year. Maybe that should be somehow.
So if they've done it previous year, we offer them that particular date again next year, you're saying?
They should have the option of it before somebody else gazumped them, I think, because the festival has a certain set of dates, and I don't know what they are. Yes. But each year you have to go and nominate and ask and register and things, and if somebody else, well, if you've got staff turnover or something like that, it just make it easier if you had the list of the people from the year before somehow.
Particularly if it's if they have a history of requiring those dates.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Councillor Macon?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, this is just a recommendation for the public exhibition. So if anyone has any suggestions or ideas, they can put it through the public exhibition process to be taken under recommendation at the next council meeting. Anyway, correct?
Yes. Yeah. But it's good for councillors to have this discussion. This we are talking about a policy and what we.
I just want for community awareness as well.
Yeah. I suppose. Currently, okay. So the director just pointed out that currently the Henry Lawson Festival has a set date already, so they're already in the set date. Thank you very much. So there's sort of the Henry Lawson Festival is already set. But yeah, like I said, but these are ways while the staff taking these notes on board and having a look at how it fits in the policy, and maybe there might be a change to the policy regarding it. Like I said, there's not a real lot to change the policy. It's obviously worked pretty well for other years. I've never heard any complaints about it. It seems to work pretty well for a fair while, and I think the staff are pretty good at recommending to people, you know, what days are available and things like that. But I said we can. We'll see when last the year maybe that the staff can address those couple of points and maybe put something forward so they're done for next year. Right?
That's fine.
Yeah. Well, that's
subject to submissions received during the exhibition period.
Yeah. That's all. Thank you. Any other questions on this policy then, councillors? Oh, sorry, Councillor Parlour, do you wish to speak? Oh, sorry.
No, it was in respect of that issue, but I couldn't speak on that issue as it would become a conflict of interest.
Okay, then I'll put that one there. The council, approves the updated draft street policy to be placed on exhibition, and then requests the general manager presents a further report with all submissions received at the conclusion of the exhibition period for consideration and adoption of the policy. And if no submissions are received during the exhibition period, council formally adopts the policy without any changes. All those in favour, councillors? Aye. Thank you. All those against? Thank you, councillors. 9.4, we'll move on to our extending actions items resolution. We move in a second that the council notes the updates of the outstanding actions items from the resolution register as of 9th of April 2026. Moved by Councillor Gorman and seconded by Councillor Macon. Thank you, councillors. Anyone wish to have a speak on any particular outstanding actions in the resolution register?
Yeah, through you.
Councillor Neal, thank you.
Just item resolution 112/25 about the pop-up shops. Well, I think it's a great idea. It's been sitting here for a while, and I honestly don't think it's really council work to participate in this. Like, as I said, great idea of Councillor Gorman's, but I'd just like to see us actually action some of these and get rid of some of these. We just seem to be building them up and building them up.
Right. So we really, because it wasn't actually a motion of like a movement of council, motion of council, so we sort of, the staff are, without a rescission motion, are required to go through it. But I mean, the motion is saying it's to be deferred until a general manager has been appointed with some additional research to be completed in the idea. So I suppose I'll ask the general manager to speak to that, if you'd like to.
Thank you. Through you, Mr Mayor, I've put a post up to the Economic Development Network through LGNSW and have received various feedback, some positive, some negative, and actually going through, along with the acting DCS, looking at those responses, and over due course we'll come back with a updated comment to that outstanding action. So yeah, work's under train at the moment. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anything else, councillors? Councillor Niven?
Yes, Mr Mayor, I have the number, but with regard to the change of status of the block of land at Henry Lawson Estate,
Yep.
and there's mention there that there's to be a public meeting, but there's not a date.
Yep, we'll ask the General Manager to speak on that one.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Niven, for your questions. So those planning proposals are on public exhibition up until Monday, the 20th of April. And then once that period is finished, then a date for the public hearing will be set. And Council has to give 21 days notice for that public hearing date.
Thank you.
Yeah. And that will be by external from Council.
That's correct. A consultant.
Consultant will actually do the...
That's correct.
Thank you. Councillor Gorman?
I think this is still part of the outstanding items.
Yes.
The bicycle path that we were going to look at to go down towards Henry Lawson Way, etc. And there's also, hopefully, if we get the money, we can extend it up towards the cemetery. they were looking in December 25, it said that we're looking for an application through New South Wales Active. Have we got did we hear a result from that grant or not?
It was due back in middle of April, so we must be getting close.
Through you, Mr Mayor, I'll have to defer that through to the Acting Director of Corporate Services. Have we got any update on that? No. Okay.
I'm sure I said it was due on during April, so we haven't received it yet, but it must be far away.
No, that's right. There's a few people in the community who are hopefully
Interested in it?
waiting for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more action? No. Any more councillors? Righto. In that case, I'll put the recommendation to council notes the updates on the outstanding actions item register. All those in favour?
Aye.
Thank you. All those against? Thank you, councillors. Right, we move on to statement of bank balances and investment balances as of the 31st of March 2026, restricted cash and banking facilities. This one's for information only, but we need to move in a second. That's correct. Yep, we're moving a second. Moved by Councillor Neal and seconded by Councillor Rolls. I think we can, if anyone's got any questions on this, if not, we can take it as read, councillors. Yep. Any questions? Thank you. All those in favour of the recommendation that we noted? Thank you, councillors. Next we move on to 10.2, the rates and charges collection as of March 2026. Once again, we'll need a move and a seconder, but this one's from information only. Moved by Councillor Macon, second by Councillor Gorman. Thank you. Same thing. Any questions regarding this one, councillors? Any comments? No? Very good. That one is read as well then. I'll put that one to the vote in favour of noting that recommendation and report, councillors. All those in favour? Aye. Thank you. All those against? Thank you. Next we move on to 10.3, the draft CCTV policy. And there's a recommendation in this one, councils, that 1, we note the information contained in the report, and 2, we formally adopt the CCTV policy without any changes as a policy of council. I do think that I might have move in a second, but I'll put the other, we can put them in now, can't we? Do that. We can put the some additional points in now. We'll move in a second for that one then, councillors. Moved by Councillor Macon and second by Councillor Neal. Thank you, councillors. There's a couple of additional points which we might add on top of this, which is 3, that the policy for CCT workplace surveillance be revoked as part of the policy of council. So basically this one overrides that one, if that's correct. This policy we're adopting, and this is just making it clear that it does override it. And 4, that a standalone workplace surveillance policy be developed as a policy of council. So you're sort of revoking part of it, removing it. This one overrides it, and in the meantime, council, the staff are then can actually put in a designated policy for workplace surveillance. So we have to move in a second. So thank you. Any questions, councillors? Councillor Macon or comments?
Through you, Mr Mayor, for the CCTV workplace surveillance part to be revoked from the policy, if we adopt the CCTV one now, without a standalone workplace policy, how are we covered?
I'll direct that to the General Manager. That's okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Macon, for your question. So I've actually been discussing this with our temporary human resources specialist today, and they've obtained separate workplace surveillance policies from other councils based on their local government experience, and we will be formulating a new workplace surveillance policy to come to the consultative committee in early May and then go through to the executive leadership team. Per previous council meeting, this will be an internal policy. It's a human resources policy. Yeah. So at some point in May of this year, we will have a new workplace surveillance policy. Through
you, Mr Mayor, for argument's sake, something happens tomorrow, we've revoked it, what are we standing on?
Well, there's still, if something happens, we still can use this existing policy. We can use this policy because it covers incidents, we can use it for anything, you know, like...
But if we remove, through you, Mr. Mayor, if we revoke the CCTV workplace surveillance part of the policy, and something workplace surveillance wise happens tomorrow after we've revoked it, there's nothing holding.
Well, I suppose but if there's an incident, we're covered in the policy now because it says any investigations. So we are sort of covered. If you talk about
I just want to make sure
so if you talk about an actual incident occurring that's covered by the CCT, we can access it through the policy.
Okay, I'll just double check, like, just purely for protection wise, that if something did, we revoke it from now.
Yes.
To have something.
No, I did have. I think
tomorrow, because it is Friday.
Yeah. If there's an incident, because it's there to protect the staff.
I just want to make sure.
If there's any sort of incidents, we can definitely do it under this policy.
Yeah. I just wanted to. Yeah.
Councillor Parlett?
You could add the words once the policy has been developed. The new workplace. Do you know what I mean? If you add that to the end, so it's revoked as a policy of council once the new policy has been developed.
Right, that makes more sense.
Yeah, sort of covers it.
Yeah. Through, because just pull one and then just not replace it with anything.
Yes, so you've got to have continuity.
Yeah, that makes much more sense.
Policy.
Thank you.
As you said, the new workplace that goes through the consultative committee, the staff and all that stuff. The executive leadership team, there's a lot more work in it. So. Any more questions regarding this policy, councillor?
Is that then, sorry, does that then come to council once it's
no, because it's an internal
one?
It's an internal policy council. But it has a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of gates for it to get through, inside the organisation. So.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Any other questions regarding it, councillor?
Just curious,
Councillor Gorman.
Mr. Mayor. The CCTV policy that we are adopting, where did it ultimately originate? Through local government, or did we share ideas and base it on one?
There was a model, I'm sure, the General Manager remember, I remember when I was reading it, there was a model code that we did follow with it.
Through
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor, there is,
sure,
I think, guidance from at the Commonwealth level, I think, from memory. It might even be state guidance, but I'll refer that through to the Acting Director of Corporate Services. Address that.
I'll have to take that on notice.
Yeah. I'm sure that I read that we followed because there was a set of nine guiding principles of it, and we had to follow those guiding principles when setting it up.
Thank you.
That's it. Any other questions regarding it? Councillor Rolls?
Just in terms of process, Mr. Mayor, do we have to vote on Councillor Parlett's change to point number 3?
Well, the move and the second, we have a move and a seconder, which was Councillor Macon. Sorry? And Neil. Sorry, Mountain, Macon and Neil. If they accept those amendments, we can take them as written. Councillor Macon, you happy with those amendments?
Yeah.
Councillor Neil, happy with those amendments? So then those amendments now become the motion because they've been accepted. Thank you very much. Yeah. If there's no more comments regarding this one, I'll put that one then. The vote, I'll read them all out. That Council notes information in the report, formally adopts a CCTV policy without any changes as a policy of Council. 3, the policy for CCTV workplace surveillance be revoked as a policy of Council once the new policy has been developed. And 4, a standalone workplace surveillance policy will be developed as a policy of Council. All those in favour of those recommendations, councillors? All those against? Thank you, councillors. Thank you very much for the staff for that one. Sorry to put you on the spot. But... Next we move on to, 11. The Infrastructure Services Report. Response to a notice of motion that Council to develop management and eradication plan for spiny birdgrass within the Grenfell Cemetery. There's a recommendation that Council receives and notes the information contained in the report, and 2, approves the proposed management and eradication plan for spiny birdgrass with the Grenfell Cemetery and associated costs to be included into the operational budget. Very much, I think. Now I was a move this one. I didn't know whether the director wanted to speak on this one at all, or happy to take it as. read?
For you, Mr. Mayor, I'm
We can field any questions if that's what you prefer.
happy to take it as read or and take any questions.
Yeah, thank you. Any questions on this one, Councillor? Yes, Councillor Macon, thank you.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the only thing that I wanted to ask is that it's a management eradication plan for just Grenfell Cemetery. Is there any other places that has been noticed that we need to manage as well before it gets out of hand, or is Grenfell Cemetery the main place?
So through you, Mr. Mayor, I suppose in response to the motion, it was in relation to Grenfell Cemetery in particular. However, obviously more broadly where we're looking at a priority weed eradication throughout the whole Shire.
Yeah.
So that's part of a larger program.
Yeah. Cool.
Sorry? You might have had a move in a second for that one, sorry. I might have had a move in a second, that's all. Can I have a move in a second for those ones, councillors? Moving by Councillor Rolls, sorry, and seconded by Councillor Parlett. Thank you very much. Well, I've got Councillor Gorman.
Can I just point out on Anzac Day at 8 o'clock in the morning there will be quite a number of locals go to the cemetery, and we walk all over the cemetery delivering a small poppy or
rosemary.
Yes, rosemary, thank you, onto the graves of past servicemen. And if it's as extensive as those signs on the fence might indicate, we might find that it does get transferred to other parts of the town and district through our footwear. But I don't know that we can do anything about it up until then, can we? Before then?
I think I can speak probably. I think that they have been sprayed. It is a summer growing perennial sort of thing, so it has been sprayed. So I think there's minimal, but making sure that everybody is aware of those signs and picking it out of their shoes or whatever in their tyres if they do go into those areas is important. But yeah, it's more about the seed bank which is built up in the soils over years, over the last few years, that then obviously take off when you have the summer break sort of thing. That's where it takes off and that's where it becomes a big issue. So yeah, so I think just if you're out there, make everyone aware that if they are, be noted and please look at your shoes and look at your vehicle tyres and things like that as per the signage, and try and keep it to that area if we can, so it doesn't get transferred into council parks. Or actually, in people's into their gardens, not just their gardens, but into farmlands and stuff like that. Because I said so we don't want that. Any other questions on it, councillors? I suppose I suppose it was my motion. I was waiting to see if anyone was speaking on it, but I think it's important. It is something. The cemetery is a pretty important area for us, so I think it's needs to be part of our management strategy that we deal with it. I know it comes at a cost, but I think leaving it will be a big cost to the community as well. So it's important that we maintain the cemetery to a pretty high standard. I think this is important. Yes, Councillor Mayor.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Alternative option 2, approach Central Tablelands Weed Authority for a plan. Is there a funding that we could retrospectively apply for with this authority? Say, hey, we've got this problem. Can you help us out financially to stop it happening so it doesn't come out of our?
I would doubt it, because they are Central Tablelands Water is Weed Authority is very similar to Central Tablelands Water. It's a conglomerate of a couple of councils.
Okay, yeah, so
they're probably running on a pretty tight budget.
Trying to offset it. Good night. Thank you.
Any other questions, councillors? No? So we've got to move in a second then, so that they will receive and note the information report and approve the proposed management eradication plan for spiny birdgrass within the Grenfell Cemetery and the associated costs which are included into the operational budget. All those in favour, councillors? Thank you. All those against? Thank you very much. And thank you to the Director for that one. Thank you. To Infrastructure Services Report, there's a recommendation here that Council notes information provided on the infrastructure works which was completed in March 2026 and the planned works for April 2026. Have a move in a second for that recommendation. Councillor Macon again and Councillor Neal. Thank you very much, councillors. You wish to speak on this at all? Or?
Once again, through Mr. Mayor, I'm happy to have the report taken as read and field any questions.
Thank you. Any questions to the Director on this report, councillors? No? No. Looks like you've got scot-free.
For you, Mr Mayor, no question, but just I think it's good to see those warning lights actually now coming through and being
Yes. Yeah.
after all the issues we've had. So
Yeah. Thank you. I think it's important too that we know that the community knows that what they're putting in place at the moment is only temporary, the rumble strips and the speed limit, and it's also good to note that the trains will be forced to slow down as well as part of the management of it. So the trains will actually slow as well. This is which is great for the transport to actually really see that there's an issue. We've had too many near misses out there over the last few years, and they've actually done something about it by putting this in place, and they're going to sort of start implementing it pretty soon. But there will be, like I said, there's I think, my memory serves you correct, there's 30 crossings which will be dealt with, and we're 31. So when the 30 get done, we're top priority for the active warning lights, which will be a proper active crossing put out there. So this is just an interim measure until they finish all the other 30, and then we'll have a proper active warning crossing out there, which will have boom gates and the warning lights and things like that, which is what we've been asking for. But it's great to see that the Transport have realised that in the interim we needed a bit more than what was there. It's just too many near misses, and it's great that I think Steph Cook our member advocated for us as well, and it was really good that they've come back for this. It's a great response, I think, great result. So if there's no more questions regarding Councillor Gorman, that's okay.
Regarding the Bogalong Dam restoration project, can you just, I think I do remember something about it, can you just remind me again why part of it is being reclassified from community land to operational land, and what's the advantage of that, please?
Through you, Mr Mayor, I would have to take that on notice, and it's
Yeah, I think it was a direct result from the actual committee. The saying whether there are any other options, if it was operational land, would that allow us to have any other options with the actual dam management out there as part of a community land or not?
I'm on the committee, but yeah. I thought there might have been specific things, and I can't remember whether it went further after our meeting or not.
I think it was, if it was changed over to land, it would look the opportunity for someone to come and purchase it. If council can't do the repairs and things that we need to do, if we don't have the money to do it, maybe there's an option for someone to actually repurpose the dam or something like that. So I think that's I believe that's what the decision was from the committee.
We don't want to decommission it. We want to keep it and use it, and we need some money.
Yeah. I think the issue with it is we need a lot of money.
We do.
Any councillors, any more questions regarding that report? No? Very good, thank you very much. I'll put that one to the vote, that the council notes infrastructure reports as of March 2026. Thank you. All those in favour, councillors?
Aye.
All those against, thank you very much. Thank you, Director. That report. I had probably moved on, but I might give myself a little bit of leeway and just go back. I noticed that there was, in that report, there was the chemical used for the priority weeds was only sort of 8 litres over that period. And but I know that council does more spraying than that. It's regarding weeds on the sides of the road. So maybe in the future we could include a bit more of that information in there, because someone looking from the outside would look at that and go, gee, they haven't done much, where we've actually done more than what's sort of reported on, because that's only on priority weeds. That's all. So just for the future, I hope that we can expand that a little bit.
Thank you, Mr Mayor.
That's all. So we move on to 11.3, our RMCC Roads Maintenance Council contract. Council notes information contained in this report regarding our RMCC contracts. Moving a second to councillors. Councillor Rolls, thank you, and Councillor Macon, thank you very much. Anyone have any questions regarding this? Any questions of the Director? No? I suppose I'll make a comment in that the work on the new highway, we've done some bit of work out there, and I'm still interested to see what's the government's plan regarding making that the new highway flood. I know they've dropped a lot of the flood works that were going to happen out there, but I wonder what I'd be interested to see what their They're going to be our results for moving forward, what they're going to do out there, whether it's, harden up the pavement so that it can be more resilient or whatever during flooding. But it's a massive impact on the Shire when that new highway floods and the traffic gets rediverted through Yulees Road and all the other roads and absolutely smashes the rest of our infrastructure network. So I see we're doing work out there. I just hope that it's, I hope they still haven't kept that on their radar that there needs to be some flood mitigation work out there. That's all. There's no more then. I'll put that one to the vote. The council notes the report. Thank you. All those in favour? Aye. Thank you. All those against, councillors? Thank you. Right, getting away with it easy today. Next we move on to 12, which is the Environmental Services Report. Recommendation that council notes the report on development applications, construction certificates and compliant development applications determined during the period of the 1st of March 2026 to the 31st of March 2026. Moving to second, councillors. Councillor Neal, thank you. Seconded by Councillor Macon. We don't actually have the Director of who's on Environmental Services on holidays at the moment. We don't have anybody, but I don't know if you're going to field any questions. If there's any questions regarding this?
I'll take it on notice.
You'll take it on notice. So, councillors, any question regarding this one? Any of those complying developments, construction developments? No? Pretty straightforward. Councillor Rolls?
If I had a question, could I forward that direct to the Director of Environmental Services?
He'll be back on Monday. Back on Monday, so, yep. Any questions regarding them, you can forward to him, definitely. Very good. No, there's no more questions regarding all those compliant developments. Very good. All those in favour of that recommendation, councillors, please raise your hand. All those against? Thank you, councillors. Next we move on to another draft policy, our draft asbestos policy. This is authorised by the General Manager. That recommendations are that Council 1 places the draft asbestos policy on public exhibition for a period of 28 days with the purpose of inviting submissions from the public and staff. 2, request that the General Manager presents a further report to Council with all of the submissions received at the conclusion of the public exhibition period for Council's further consideration and adoption of the asbestos policy, or in the event that no submissions are received during the exhibition period, Council formally adopts the asbestos policy without any changes to supersede our previous asbestos policy. Thank you. Thank you, councillors. Any questions regarding this one to the Director? Oh, sorry, I'm moving to seconder. Nice. Yeah, moved by Councillor Gorman, thank you. Seconded by Councillor Rolls. Thank you very much. Any questions regarding this one, councillor? No. I might just ask the General Manager just to rework on our general policy of asbestos, and there wasn't much changes in there, was there? I don't think so.
Not that I'm aware of. Yeah, I think it was.
I think I looked through it.
I think it's in blue highlight from memory.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of things. Yeah, there's changes in there. I don't think so. Yeah. There wasn't nothing really. Just cheap. Councillor Gorman.
Through the Mayor, I'm not sure who prepared this, but there is an awful lot of information for the community out there telling us the different sources of asbestos and where you can find them and where you can't, and what to do and what not to do and all that sort of thing. And I was quite interested when I read it because I learned a lot.
Very comprehensive report, the policy.
Yes, and I just think if the community noted that this information's out there, it could be very valuable to them too. And it was also interesting that the only place where anyone is allowed to dump, shall we say, or take waste asbestos is to the Grenfell tip. And they have to give 72 hours notice before they go in the gate. And I just thought that needed to be maybe emphasised a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions this one, councillors? No? I'll put that recommendation we adopt, or we put the draft asbestos policy on public exhibition. All those in favour of that one, councillors? Aye. Thank you. All those against? Thank you, councillors. Next we move on to... Getting there.
I think it's page 214, if that helps.
It does help. I'm only up to 180. Very good. Thank you, Councillor. Next we move on to 13, which is our delegates' reports. We have a delegate report for Councillor Niven from the Weddin Land Care, which was held on the 10th of February. A copy of the meeting was attached to our business paper. Any comments on that one, Councillor Niven?
Oh no, probably the only thing I wish I could contribute a bit more to them. They do a mighty job.
We need to move in a second there to accept. No, because it's a delegate's report. Thank you.
Can I ask,
Councillor Parlett?
through the Mayor, can I ask Councillor Niven why the focus and the recording of sightings is for the Indian minor bird?
Oh, general discussion, like they think they're quite a problem. I mean,
keep an eye on them, they're moving in the show.
well, they've been working with Luke, director, to, you know, round up the Indian minor birds. There's quite a bit of work being done. But I haven't caught any.
Is it something that other land cares are doing throughout New South Wales? Is it regarded as that big a problem?
I don't know necessarily that it's land care, but there's other councils. Councils are quite involved. Dubbo's got a serious problem with Indian minor birds. But other than that,
because it does have a big impact on native birds.
Okay.
Because they're very invasive. They think they take the nests of the and a few things of the native birds and push them out. They're very aggressive, I think. So
Okay, thank you.
the carp of the sky. Yeah. But it's a good idea if the land care keep an eye on it and see whether or not it's becoming a great problem in the Shire. It's something that we can look at. 13.2, we move on to the delegates report for the Weddin Health Council as of 9th of February from Councillor Parlett. There's also the minutes from the Weddin Health meeting, which was held on 9th of February, attached. Councillor Parlett, do you wish to speak on any of your report?
I think taken as read,
Taken as
just to know once again, the Health Council are very proactive and there's a lot of advocacy still happening regarding the MPS and, you know, doctors, all those things. Of course, we are very lucky with our MPS staff and the support that we do have there with our auxiliaries, because there's a lot of money raised, as you would know, for language drives and things. So please support those things, because that is where all the extra medical equipment comes from, because again, as always, there is lack of funding and we're the ones that don't get much. So with all these community initiatives and the volunteers, I think we are very, very fortunate here.
Thank you. Councillor Gorman?
Can I just say I agree with Councillor Parlett, and we're both on the Health Council committee, and I just think the community needs to know how hard that committee are actually working, led by Peter Moffat and Peter Spedding, in terms of their efforts to attract funding and to get an expansion of the MPS, because a couple of years ago, I'm not sure the actual which year, they were asking for an extra 16 beds, which they see as a necessity for us in our community, looking to the future, and we got approval, our licence got approved for 9. However, now we're chasing the funding to expand the facility and have a building. But on top of that, we also need more staff to cater for the additional beds and patients, and we haven't got any staff accommodation. So Peter Moffat and Peter Spedding particularly, as well as you know, the staff at the MPS and the hospital, are just working in overdrive trying to achieve that. And I just think the community needs to know that that is happening. And I know, Mr Mayor, through your country mayors meetings that you go to, The health is a big issue and a problem faced by many communities, and the country mayors together are pushing for extra funding for regional areas.
Yeah, definitely.
Got to promote them.
Got to promote
They're
them.
working hard. Got to be promoted.
They are. It's very good, and it's a good point. I think it's such an important thing for the community. The health is number one, really, the priority, and that's what we need. We need the money to come from the. As we said, we always say that the problem with it is that the money has to come from both the state and federal governments. I hope they're listening to us, and the council continue advocating for it. As I know that the Health Council will continue. Everyone will continue advocating to see if we can receive that funding and get a new facility or an upgrade to our existing facility. But so we definitely need it. But if anyone, even in the community, if anyone knows of any rental houses for available for staff, I think it'd be great too as well. They could contact the hospital up there, because they're always looking for rentals for workers up there. So if anyone knows of any properties for rent or anything like that, any houses, please bear that in mind and contact the hospital over it. So it'd be very helpful. Very good. Thank you very much. So we've got that one. Next we move on to 14, which is the minutes of the committee meetings. Next we have the council notes that presented the unconfirmed committee minutes of the Weddin Shire Audit, Risk and Improvement Committee, which are held in 23rd of February. This is only for information. We need to move in a second for that one, though. Move in a seconder, please. Councillor Gorman and Councillor Neal, thank you very much. We'll take any questions. There's no real questions on this. It's their minutes and have yet to be adopted, so there's no real questions on it. But put that one in the vote. All those in favour of the recommendation, councillors? Aye. Thank you. All those against? Thank you, councillors. Closed council. All right, actually, we're down to closed council. I'll just read it off here. Yep, we can move out. Next we move. Oh no, we've got to move to. We're moving to closed council. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Thank you. The recommendation is that the meeting now be closed to the public under Section 10A2 of the Local Government Act 1993 to consider the following item because of their confidential nature. We're only dealing with one matter in this closed council, which is 15.1, a community support application for an in-kind donation. This matter is considered to be confidential under Section 10A2 of the Local Government Act, and council is satisfied that discussion of the matter in an open meeting would on balance be contrary to public interest, as it deals with personal matters concerning particular individuals which are other than councillors. So the purpose of actually closing the meeting is to provide council with information pertaining to an in-kind donation. That's the recommendation that we close council. I have a move and a second we close council. Moved by Councillor Gorman, second by Councillor Neal. All those in favour that we go into a closed council session? Aye. Thank you, councillors. All those against? So moved. We're now in a closed council. Now, councillor. Thank you, councillors, and thank you everyone watching at home.
I need to read that.
Yes, I'll read it out. So the recommendation from our closed council, which just did, the resolution was moved by the Deputy Mayor Gorman and seconded by Councillor Neal, is that council notes that the General Manager, as authorised under clause 6.2 of the donations and in-kind contributions policy, approved a in-kind donation in March 2026 for the provision of council equipment at a funeral and a wake. This motion was carried unanimously. Very good. Thank you very much. Next, that's all for tonight. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending tonight. Wish Councillor Montgomery best health. But we have a move and a second now that we close the meeting tonight. Moved by Councillor Rolls, seconded by Councillor Macon. All those in favour that now meeting be closed? Aye. Thank you. All those against? Thank you very much, councillors. Thank you very much to the staff as well for their attendance. Thank you.
Six.